Our dear lovely viewers, another warm welcome to the 7th day of Kwibuka International T20 Tournament, the 8th edition that takes place here in Kigali, Rwanda. This morning here at the IPRC Oval, Germany will be taking on Uganda as Germany looks to register their first win of the tournament. At the same time, Uganda looks to up the game and increase the points on the point table. All the teams will be looking to win this game as it is important to them. And just a quick recap about yesterday's game. At Gahanga, Botswana versus Germany. Botswana won to register their first ever win in the 8th edition of Kwibuka tournament by 17 runs. And here at IPRC ground, Brazil was taking on Uganda, and Uganda won by 84 runs, registering their third win and looking very fired up to register their fourth today. The opening bowler coming from the Niwoi community end is no other than the fierce bowler Asmita Kohli, a lady who's associated with very big iconic names. As we all know, associate Kohli with a lot of batting. The Lady Kohli here at Kwibuka tournament is so very much associated with both the bowling and batting, and her delivery is unquestionable. And the batting opening pair is no other than Kevin Awino and Gloria Abukor. Our lovely viewers, if you were able to view yesterday's game, the 2 consecutive games that Uganda have played, Kevin Owino has managed to register half centuries in both. And I guess the captain is having her as early as now to push up the power play for Team Uganda. The team that is playing today for Team Uganda is Consilat Nimungu, the captain, Leona Mirembe, Janet Mbabazi, Susan Helen, Ritan Musamali, Naomi Kayondo, Kevin Awino, Gloria Obukor, Fiona Kalume, Sarah Walaza, Shakira Shadik, and Evelyn Anyipo. Coming from the school's end with the ball is the Germans Antonia Mainburg, and opens her bowling account with a white that opens the Ugandan account. Second ball, they have managed to get a couple of runs there. Was a very good previous over from Kohli. A maiden. Loud appeal. But umpire Augusto seems uninterested. And the team list for German is Anuradha Dodabalupu, Christina Rook, who's the captain, Janet Ronalds, Katika, Stephanie, Wilhelmina Garcia, Paris, Xavier Colcharam, Melina Beresford, and of course Asmita Kohli, Sharanya Sadarangani, and the 12th lady is Shemaine Manan. And that's the team, the German team playing today against Uganda. Beautiful driven, slicing the covers there to rush away to the boundaries. The first boundary of the innings, registered by the opening batter and the keeper of Uganda, Kevin Awino. And she's just getting started against. Another boundary. Will it get there? Oh yes. Cut nicely past the point and to the boundary. Another boundary for Kevin. Very good start there by the opening batter, Kevin Awino. Another extra there. By Antonia. I believe our lovely viewers, Antonia struggling to get her length. And the line as well. A slight concern there with her run-up, but she manages to just register a dot. Quite an expensive over for the German team as they end the second over with 13 runs. And remember, the first over was a maiden. Thus, Antonia's over was capitalized for 13 runs. Asmita Kohli will continue from the Niue community end, looking to replicate her previous over, which was beginning to create a little bit of pressure for the Ugandan side, as Ugandan team is known for strategizing along, making the most out of the power play. Good bowling there by Asmita. And Gloria opens her count with a beautiful single that went to the long off. Very good cricket happening here. Meanwhile, at Gahanga, Botswana is taking on Rwanda. It is a very interesting match at Gahanga. as Botswana are quite fired up after registering their first win, looking to register their second one, playing against Rwanda. Well played there. Over the keeper to secure themselves a couple of runs. Another good shot there from Kevin, driving it through to the long off and managing to bag just a single run, courtesy of the good fielding of the German side. Smart bowling there by Smita Kohli. A reduction in space, in pace we saw there. Confusing Gloria. Good bowling by Asmita as she continues. I believe Asmita is doing very well to not to create space with her length and the line, which the opening batters are well known for, especially Kevin. Do not allow her to sweep. Do not allow her to cut. Push her to play straight and drive everything, as her strong shots that have been witnessed across most of the matches that she's played is sweep shots and cut shots. Antonia coming from the school's end, and again seems to be struggling with the stride there. Good delivery there. And that is pulled beautifully. An iconic Kelvin's pull shot that will race straight to the boundary. If Antonia is to restrict Kevin to playing within the ropes, she needs to get her lines right. Keeping it down the leg. Kevin will sweep, pull everything across the boundary. I should say this is a better comeback from her, given that we've not seen any extras compared to the first over she bowled. Very pitched, and that was slapped all the way close to the boundary, but it didn't get to the boundary thanks to the fielder on the long off. Lovely shot, slicing through the covers and racing straight to the boundary. Fielders at the point and the covers did not see that coming. Moved at the speed of light. Great technique there from Kevin. Antonia will have to find her length as quick as possible, because this is not looking good for Team German as we speak. Loud appeal, but umpire Gusto indicated it was slightly above the bills. And it's the end of the fourth over. 29 for no loss. A projected score of about 145 as we speak. A great start by the Ugandan side, opening at a current run rate of 7.2.
कितने पैसे चाहिए?
पैसा नहीं, इज्जत। मोहल्ले के चिरकुट लौंडे हरा रहे हैं फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स में। आप एक्सपर्ट हो, सिखाओ।
सिखाऊंगा तो जाने दोगे?
हाँ। फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स का
असली अखाड़ा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम के तत्व हैं और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Ladies and gentlemen, as Mita Kohli continues at that over, she has been very resourceful to restrict the batters from getting any boundary. An extra there, her first extra. I'm sure if she'll come back to find her length on the line, all should be well. Great shot there. And a misfield. Ladies and gentlemen, that will cost German another boundary. These are the mistakes you don't want to do, especially in a T20 format. Great technique there from Gloria, stepping out to the ball. That was straight to a fielder whose misfield left Gloria smiling, registering her first boundary. A good stop there by Kohli. She continues to show that the Kohli name is associated with performance, is associated with a lot of commitment that she has continued to show with the ball and with the field. And that was the flight. Missed by the keeper. And they were able to get themselves a couple of runs. As we saw there, Kevin was getting a little bit excited by that delivery. She was looking to capitalize on Kohli's mistake and perhaps got a little bit too excited for this. Good delivery there, good comeback from Kohli. That is the line, and that is the length. Keep it there. If you were to restrict the Ugandan batters from getting anything above 50, especially during the power play, a second extra indicated by umpire Olivier, the international umpire. Fifth over down. Uganda at 38 for no loss. This is exactly what the Ugandan opening pairs usually do. Rotate strike as much as they can within the power play. Get big shots going on. Keep their wickets until the mid-overs, where they flex their muscles to enjoy the T20 game of cricket with the bat. It is a very interesting strategy from the Ugandan camp that has worked wonders for them. It worked yesterday when they were playing against Brazil and managed to win by 84 runs. And the new bowler comes in from the school's end, and it's Sharanya. The dangerous Sharanya. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined in the commentary box this morning by Romeo Romaric. And I doing the commentary at the moment. My name is Mary Minor. Romaric, good morning to you. And how are you doing today? A great shot there. Sliced to rush to the boundaries. Ladies and gentlemen, again and again, Kevin is on fire. And given there some space by Sharanya, Sharanya gives Kevin some room to slice that ball. And as you remember, cut shots and anything down the leg, it is a good strength of Kevin. That's your line, Sharanya. If you were to keep the dangerous Kevin Awino within the boundary ropes, you can't afford to lose your line and your length at this moment in time. Good morning, Romaric, and how are you doing today?
Good morning, Mary. I'm doing great, thank you. Good weather here at IPRC grounds. And this looks like a very good start for Team Uganda, really, in the power play. And they're going at a rate of 7.6. And the Germans, they are really good with the field. But let's see. The Ugandans are getting their way out. Yeah, back to you, Mary. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Very excited to continue watching these games. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kwibuka. If you're joining us, we're coming to you live from IPRC ground, where the Kwibuka Women's T20 tournament is ongoing. This is the 8th edition of the Kwibuka Women's T20. A special, very special edition, as this time around it hosts 8 countries, 6 from Africa, 1 from South America, and another one, which is German, playing at the moment all the way from Europe. It is indeed a special one. And having had that opportunity to play in the first few edition of this tournament. It is great to see how much it has grown, and thanks to Rwanda Cricket Association for providing the platform to showcase to the entire world the talent that is in women's cricket, the talent that is in Africa women's cricket. The new bowler in is Melania, coming from the Niboi community end. Opens her account with an extra. A wide ball there. Great delivery there. As Kevin was trying to do her magic, her pull shot magic, off another good delivery there from Melania as she continues. This is exactly what Germany will require at the moment. A lot more dot balls to create pressure to the batters. And that was driven away in between the legs of the fielder in the covers. That ball, ladies and gentlemen, was moving at the speed of light. And as you can see there, it was a mistake for Melania to create some room for these batters. If the captain is listening, keep the ball straight. No rooms. And another boundary. Back-to-back boundaries. Melania losing her length and losing her line is causing her and causing Team German a lot of boundaries there. That was too full. Great technique there from Gloria as she stepped out and attacked the ball fiercely before the bounce. Romeo, as you've been able to watch a lot more games of German, what do you think would be the best strategy for them, especially playing against a very strong side like Uganda that is even stronger with the ball?
The only way out for Germans is one. It's only if they stop the boundaries, as it's we are in the 7th over, so that's the power play has ended, and they are allowed to have many fielders outside the ring, and they need to read the batters really, and they see where their strong shots are, and then they set the field accordingly. 57 on board for no loss in the first 7 overs. Waiting to see who the next bowler is. Looks like it's Sharanya coming back. Yeah, it is Sharanya coming back indeed. It's coming from the school end. And on strike, we have Gloria Abuko and Kevin, the on-form cricketer, on the non-strikers end. And she's driven. Sharanya is driven back to her, and she doesn't stop the ball, and the batters get a chance to get a quick single there. Kevin Nawino on strike as Sharanya comes for her second over. Second ball for the second over. She tries to get a single, but no. The ball stays within the ring, and it goes back to the bowler safely. Oh, and she slices the ball down gully, and they only get a single. Some good piece of fielding from Stephanie McMahon, from Mayor, sorry. Slices the ball down gully, and they only get a single. Some good piece of fielding from Stephanie McMahon, from Mayor, sorry. That was a good attempt of stamping, but Gloria Boko had to get back in her crease right in time, and they lose the chance. Sharanya making it a bit difficult for the Ugandans. They were cruising so fast. Now they seem to slow down a bit. That's some good comeback from Sharanya. Oh, that was a chance behind. Only if the Germans had some sleep. That was a catch behind. And she drives back to the bowler, and ball goes down long off, and the Ugandans get an extra run on board, which brings us to 62 for no loss in the first 8 overs. Current run rate of 7.7 and the projected score of 155, which will be the highest score in the league so far.
अब सीख तो गए, अब तो जाने दो मुझे।
ठहर जाइए, कोई प्रॉब्लम हो गई तो कहाँ ढूंढेंगे आपको?
फैंटेसी अखाड़ा का 24/7 कस्टमर सर्विस है, आपकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करवा देंगे।
कल जाने देंगे।
फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स का असली अखाड़ा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम के तत्व हैं और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Milena comes back for a second over, coming from the Niwoi community end, and opens her second over with an extra good delivery there. That is what you need, especially that they've already seen that anything too off and anything on their own side is cleared. And another shot! Sliced nicely to the point where there's a fielder, but their legs will help them sprint for 2. Very good shot there from Gloria. And I would say, Romeo, interesting fielding here from the Germans. As Good fielding there. And good delivery from Elana. A great comeback after a very expensive over with extras and loss of length and line. She seems to have had a good comeback. And another extra there. I believe Romeo, if playing at a very strong side like the Uganda, consistency will be something that will be very much required for Team German at this point. And a chance there. Good thinking from the keeper. As I was saying, Romeo, playing a strong side like Uganda, extras and small mistakes are things you want to avoid. Especially that we already know where their strengths are. Why not get the ball straight and let them use their power to get to get their scoreboard ticking. And another shot driven nicely to the offside and rushes in a few seconds right to the scoreboard area. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Gloria there, creating some room for the ball and cutting it past the covers to the scoreboard. End of the 9th over and the score is 72. A very good start for Team Uganda, I should say, Romeo.
Indeed, it's a very good start with the bat. And if I was the Germans captain, I would definitely find ways of stopping the boundaries at least and make them run in between. And when they get tired, they will start giving chances maybe by skying the ball. It's just to test their patience on the wicket to see. But again, as Ugandans, they still have many wickets in hand. Oh, that's in the air. That's a chance. But land safe. Land safe. No one is there. It's no man's land. But yeah, as the Ugandans, I would have one swinging in the bat and the other one keeping the wicket to try both things and see which works better than the other. And then we drive it from there. And Sharanya is cut down the deep point, and they managed to get a single. That's a quick single from Gloria Buko, and she gives strike. It's Kevin who gives strike to Gloria. That's on the leg side, and the wrist work. Yeah, she tries to glance it, but shot mid-wicket. Captain Christina was there to collect the ball right on time. Yeah, like Ugandans, yeah, I think this works good for the Germans. If the Ugandans keep running in between the singles, that's 1 or 2. It will bring down the current run rate, which was up in the air. It was up at 8, now coming down to 7. So they need to be a bit consistent, and they don't give them room for boundaries. And she drives again down the extra cover. They get a single. Just one. Yeah, so that's some good piece of fielding. And Sharanya ends her third over. And the score is 78 for no loss. And we are halfway the innings. The current run rate is 7.8. And the projected score is 156. I must say this is a very good start for Team Uganda, really, as they look forward to securing another win as they play their second last game before the final games, which will determine the final position on the points table as we come to the end of the Kwibuka T20 tournament. And we have Susan coming from the Niwoye community end. Susan, and on strike it was Gloria who glanced the ball down fine leg. Yeah, that was some good piece of batting, and the ball went down fine leg, and Susan opens her account with a boundary. Similar shot, tried but failed, and it ended up being a wide, and it goes for the boundary. That makes it 5 wides. An already expensive over. These are 7 runs. 9 runs in the first ball. 9 runs already, and 5 more balls to be bowled from Susan McNamara. And we have Gloria on strike. She's on 42 with 5 boundaries off 31 balls and a strike rate of 135. And she pulls it down the deep mid wicket. They attempt to get a second single and fail. Yeah, that was some good shot. Good cricket from Gloria. And they could only run for 1. And Susan still have 4 more balls to bowl. That's in the air. In the air, above mid-on. And it's safe. It's safe. They still get a single. I'll say this is what Germans need, really. They need to keep them running in between without allowing any ball going across the ropes. A very expensive over. This is a 3rd boundary in the over. 3rd boundary in the over. That's 15 already. 15 runs. And she still have 2 more deliveries. It's an expensive over from Susan. Very expensive over. And she hits it, trying to get a 4th one, but Janet Leonard's there. Can't let it go past. 1 more ball to come from Susan. That's some swing and a miss. The ball kept low. And Gloria couldn't connect. And that gets us to the end of the 11th over, having Gloria on 47 runs and 6 boundaries in 35 balls and a strike rate of 134. Alongside Kevin Awino on 34 of 31 balls and 5 overs, 5 boundaries already, and a strike rate of 109. And quite an update on the game we're having at Gahanga Cricket Stadium, where Rwanda is playing the Botswana, and the Botswana won the toss and chose to bat. And now they are on 49 for 3 in the first in 13 overs. 49 for 3. And Sharanya comes to finish her spell. And she has given two balls already. And there, the misfield is taken advantage of. We have Gloria Abuko on strike as she faces Sharanya's third delivery of the over. And that's in there. That's in there. And it's a drop. And Gloria Boko secures her half century of the innings. And that's an injury. Further to dropping the catch. Let's hope she's safe. Looks like the ankle has a problem. She looks to be back on her feet. Hope she's not walking off the field. Yeah, looks like it. Looks like she's walking off the field. And Charmaine Mana has to replace her. And Sharanya has 3 more balls to deliver. And that is a replay of what happened. Yeah, she twisted her ankle when she was trying to catch the ball. And she slices it down third man. And it is collected back. And the Ugandans managed to get their 2 quick singles there. And that was Susan who twisted her ankle. And she had to walk off. And Charmaine Manan is in as a replacement. That's some wrist work. Oh, and that was a direct hit. But it was too late. That's the batter, Kevin Awino, was in her crease already. But that was a great hit, direct hit from the captain. And 1 more ball from Shalanya. And that's 100 up for Ugandans. And that's in the air again. And lands safe. But the Ugandans take advantage still. They run the first one and the second one for the throw. And that gets us to the end of the 12th over. $103 runs. And 8 overs to go. Some good partnership here between Gloria and Kevin. As the last 5 overs, they managed to go at the rate of 9.2 an over, which is very good for the batting side. This might be the high scoring game of the tournament. If the pace stays still. And captain Sharanya finished her spell with an economy of 7.2. And we have Paris coming from the Nivoi community end to bowl the 13th over. Paris Wadepo. And that is driven back to her and restricts the Ugandan from running. Oh, that's an extra. That's an extra from Paris. Gloria Buko, who's trying to take advantage of the balls on the leg side. Be it a wide, be it a good ball, she's trying to take advantage still. And that's in the air, down deep mid wicket, and it goes. It goes for a boundary. That's a misfield. That is some misfield from Shravya. And this is a wide, two wides. Paris making over very expensive for the Germans, which is not working in their favor. And the Ugandans definitely are taking advantage. And that's some cross batting from Kevin. And the ball goes to short mid wicket. And it doesn't pass, as we have the captain herself at that position. Another one in the air, but it is cut deep down the extra covers, and the batters get their 2 singles safely, comfortably. And that is in the air. In the air, that's a chance. Oh, and it's a drop. It's a drop. It's a drop. Stephanie fails to catch it. That wasn't an easy one. A running catch is not an easy one for any fielder. And that was a chance from Gloria. And she sweeps down fine leg, and the ball goes for another boundary. And she finishes her over. Paris finishes her over. The first over. And that was a chance from Gloria, where the Ugandans managed to fetch 17 runs out of the over. And here we are, 120 on board in 13 overs. And no loss so far for the Ugandans. The projected score is now 185. And the rate is 9.2. The current run rate. Shravya coming from the school end, and she opens her books with a dot ball. And that's in the air. Down mid on. And they drop it. Maybe we can review that and see. It looked close. That was Gloria who almost departed. And they managed to get a single. Kevin Awino on strike at the moment. Yeah, the Ugandans, they are very committed. They are running in between wickets. Every ball, they are not allowing any ball to be a dot. They are making use of every ball.
$125 for no loss in 13.5 overs. German seems to be struggling to restrict the Ugandans from getting a low score, and that was beautifully pulled again to restrict by Kevin the Ugandans from to the groundsman corner. At this moment in time, Rom, after the end of the 14th overs, the projected score is 184, which would be the highest score of this tournament so far. And by the looks of the body language of the batters in play, they are not playing games. They are aiming for the highest score of the tournament. I believe this would be good for their run rate, as currently they look to win big, at least have their fourth win as a big win, to come closer to the table, to Kenya, and probably that would be a good that would be to their advantage as they try to secure the spots. And another one that was hit over the bowler and will rush straight past the mid-off, rushing to the boundaries. Our lovely viewers, Gloria is not taking any dots henceforth. Nicely driven to the mid-on there, and a good delivery, a good comeback by Paris. There was a little bit of loss of length and line from high in the previous ball that costed them a beautiful boundary there, courtesy of Gloria. Paris continues, and another mistake there. Paris will need to keep it consistent, and I totally agree. A chat there will be needed. Christina would need to have a quick chat with Paris, because at this moment in time, the mission from the Ugandan camp is getting anywhere closer to the 200 mark, which at the moment the projected score is 194. But the question is, at the 200th mark, will German be able to chase that? You can see great efforts there as the captain, Christina. She brings herself on attack to try and restrict the Kampala ladies from cruising all the way to the 200th mark. And the captain coming from the Niboi community to complete that over. Cut beautifully there by Kevin, who's currently the top scorer of the tournament. Great no Kelvin. Consistent 3 half centuries have secured her a spot in the best batting performance of this tournament. Christina there continues and is sliced back to the deep point. Romeo, that seemed to be an unnecessary throw there. That already costed the German another run, especially that the batters had already. There was no chance of a run out at that point. .146 for no loss. And this is the last ball. And is in there. Over the covers to no man's land. And that will secure them a quick 2-run. Our lovely batter, Kevin Owino, the bat seems to have been a little bit heavy for the second run. Ditched it to secure herself the second run safely. Good cricket there. Good cricket is being played. End of the 15th over. 148 for no loss. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, we are coming to you live from Kigali IPRC Cricket Oval, where Germans are taking on Uganda here at the IPRC ground of it's the 7th day of Kwibuka International Tournament that has been ongoing. It is the 8th edition of Kwibuka. This tournament is always hosted here in Rwanda, and this specific edition is very special as it hosts eight teams in Africa and beyond Africa. And to make it more special, This edition hosts the first female referee, referee Temi Tope from Nigeria. That one beautifully nicked there. And it races to the commentary box. Well done. A good shot played there by Kevin. Yes, there with no slips. Definitely that will get straight to the boundary. Beautiful cricket going on. The current projected score is 200. Oh my. Ladies and gentlemen, not looking good here. The German camp seems to be crumbling like a house of cards here. In addition to big knocks from the Ugandan openers. The best partnerships we've seen in this tournament. They continue to give more chances to the Ugandan side that's looking at a projected score of 207. And another misfield. The body language here from the Germans, ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking good. This is not what we are used to, Romeo. We are not used to this from the German side. Currently, Kevin Owino topping the charts, the batting charts, with 196 runs in total. A chance for a run out, but no, that won't be taken. 161 for no loss. The best partnership we've had so far here at Kwibuka. Good cricket happening. Shravya continues from the school's end. A delivery that goes. And an opportunity there. Missed. Kevin seems to want to go for the second run. But no. The fielder says no. No more mistakes. Romeo, looking at the score right now, it is 162 for no loss. Very good innings from Uganda. What do you think would be the best strategy for the German side to actually get, if they are to register their win today, to get to the finishing mark?
That sounds like a tall order, but all they need to do is to start by attacking from the word go, as they chase down a huge score on board. 163 for no loss and they still have 4 overs to play. So the projected score looks to be 204. That's if they keep going at a rate of 14 runs an over.
रति जी, फैंटेसी अखाड़ा में विदेश जाने का भी चांस है।
अब सुनो,
हम आपको जाने देंगे।
इतना सिखा दीजिए कि हम फौरन कैसे जाएंगे। फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स का असली अखाड़ा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम के तत्व हैं और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
First over after completing the over on behalf of our team player. And it's interesting how our batters have all faced the same number of balls, and they have the same number of runs and the same strike rate but different number of boundaries. And that's in there and looks to be the first wicket for Germany. Germany takes the first wicket. That's a breakthrough at the 17th over, and Gloria departs after securing her 70 run of 49 balls. And the new batter walking in is Janet Mbabazi to join Kevin and build another partnership to see the best they can do. So far, this is the highest score. It's the highest score on board. A very hard chase for the Germans. But let's see. It isn't over yet. Couple of balls to be pulled before we call the end of innings. 28 balls to go. 22 balls to go. And we are at the end of the innings. And it's Kevin Awino on strike.
And another beautiful shot pulled away by Kevin Owino. There was a chance there, but the keeper didn't take it from the previous ball, and the next ball went straight to the boundaries. Power shot. Beautiful piece of batting. Beautifully played by Kevin. And an opportunity for a run out. Umpire Gusto says, no. Janet is faster, was faster than the keeper. Interesting to see how the body language and the morale has massively dropped from the German camp. Good delivery there by the captain to restrict the fired up batters from giving us fireworks here at IPRC Kichukiro ground. And a wide that will raise quickly to the boundary. Oh no. It's a leg by. It's a leg by there. Courtesy of Janet Mbabazi, who was nominated as the player of the month of April this year in 2022. That was a great look there from Romeo, as he seemed to be wondering if Mary is going back in time with that, especially with the mention of the 2002 that is to be corrected to 2022. And another boundary there. Oh my, at this moment Romeo, I think At this point, the only way to restrict these batters is to set the field beyond the ropes. But in the game of cricket, that is not possible. We are yet to see what German is going to offer with the bat, especially after such a big knock from the Ugandan side. You know, interestingly, Romeo and our lovely viewers, German had a series with the Austrian women and registered a number of records after beating Austria 5-0 in the series. They came really fired up. They still look to be on play regardless of the big score. Romeo, you've been around in Rwanda cricket long enough to watch all the editions, and around the bill there, Gusto uninterested. Umpire Gusto says no, not at the moment, and signals a leg by. Romeo, you've been in Rwanda cricket long enough, playing cricket in Rwanda long enough to have watched all the 8th edition. What do you think has been the development of this specific tournament throughout all the editions that you've been able to watch, and throughout, especially with the quality of cricket that you've been able to witness from the first edition across to this 8th edition?
Oh, that's an inside edge, and they attempted for a run out, but no chance. I think she was there. Janet is too fast in between the wickets, and she's not off the mark yet. So that's some good piece of running from her. Yeah, back to your question. This particular league started in 2014, where it was started within the region, which is East African Community. And now it has gone beyond the region, and it has gone beyond the continent. And now we have 2 teams from different continents, and the 6 teams out of 8 are African countries. So that speaks for itself, the development of this game of ours, especially in Rwanda. We started with 1 ground, but now we have 3. So that's a very good sign for cricket in Rwanda. And it's good to have these countries from other continents. We look forward to having more in the future to come. And this is a very good knock from captain, the opening batter for Uganda. 83 runs on board. And she looks at having 17 more runs, and she gets her first century of the tournament. And that is, if she gets to face many balls out of the 12 that are to come, definitely she needs the help of Janet Mbabazi to give her strike quite often. Oh, that's a boundary. Some misfield. That's a misfield from the Germans, really. It wasn't supposed to be a boundary, but Janet keeps the strike. And it is a Smita Kohli coming to finish her spell. Good piece of fielding from Stephanie. And Kevin Awino takes the strike. 4 more balls to come from Asmita Kohli. And that's a wide ball from Asmita Kohli. 190 runs on board for the loss of 1 wicket. And this is the second last over running. And that is in the air. In the air, no man's land. It lands safe. As they make runs in between, they manage to get 2 quick singles. 2 of them, 2 extra runs on board. And an update from Gahanga Cricket Stadium, the Botswana, they could only manage to put 91 runs for the loss of 7 in their innings. Rwanda to chase 92 runs in 20 overs. And that's a no ball. And she pulls it. She pulls it down a deep square leg. And that's a misfield. That's a misfield from the Germans again. That's a misfield from Travia. And it goes. Oh, it wasn't a no ball. Interesting. It was a good ball. And that brings us to the end of the 19th over, with 198 runs on board. And Asmita Kohli finishes her spell with a maiden and an economy of 6.7 runs. And here we are. Last over coming from Shravya Kocharam, as she also finishes her spell. And we have Janet Mbabazi on strike and Kevin Awino at 88. Looking at the stats of Janet Mbabazi, let's see. And they make a single. They make a single there. No, don't go back, Mbabazi. Don't go back. Let Kevin win. And that goes for a boundary. Down the extra covers. It goes between extra covers and mid-off. Some misfield. This misfielding from the Germans is most likely to cost them the game. And that's a wide ball. And they make them two wides. Kevin Awino to face the last 4 balls from Shravya. I think this is our opportunity to try and get her century. She has 4 balls to face. Let's see her approach, as this is her highest score. It's her highest score in this tournament so far. Another wide. That's another extra. 200 up for Uganda. 204 for the loss of 1 wicket. And last over running, Kevin Awino on strike. She has 88 runs. 12 runs for her to get a century. And she cuts it. She cuts it down backward point, and she goes for a boundary. And that is 92. 92 for her. And she still has 3 more balls to face. I can see a sign from Janet saying like 2 more boundaries and you get your century, partner. Yeah, 92. A very good knock from her. And she's cruising on the top scorers list, as she's now far ahead. Another one, back to bowler, return catch, and it's dropped by Shravya. Shravya drops it. Mary, if it was you, would you have run for that single, knowing that you need 2 boundaries to score a century?
Definitely. At the looks of, the discussions between Janet and Kevin, I wouldn't expect that she would have run, especially with the two balls that were left. There was a good chance there for her to bag herself the first century of Kwibuka International Tournament, which wouldn't be a good call, which wouldn't be a bad call. At the moment, it's 210 for 1 in 19.4 overs. Another chance to try and get it, and they try to get back on strike. Great partnership there from Janet, who really wanted to get her partner on strike. And now, this is the end of our first inning, ladies and gentlemen. Uganda's knock has been 213 for the loss of 1. Great performance. You can see from the Ugandan camp, they're raising their yellow flag up in appreciation of the work done by Kevin. The question coming from the commentary box is, will this lady be able to keep, given that he's the first keeper of Uganda? But Romeo, as we have seen from Kevin, the body language, the energy was consistent even in the last over. You could tell from the running between the wicket. So I assume she's still back in play. Very fit an athlete, very decorated batter. This is the end of the first inning. 213 for 1. And now German needs 214 to secure their first win. This has been the highest score in this tournament so far. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go away. The second innings are going to be very interesting. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly for the second innings.
कितने पैसे चाहिए?
पैसा नहीं, इज्जत। मोहल्ले के चिरकुट लौंडे हरा रहे हैं फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स में। आप एक्सपर्ट हो, सिखाओ।
सिखाऊंगा तो जाने दोगे?
फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स का असली अखाड़ा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम के तत्व हैं और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
ये पट्टा।
अब सीख तो गए, अब तो जाने दो मुझे।
ठहर जाइए, कोई प्रॉब्लम हो गई तो कहाँ ढूंढेंगे आपको?
फैंटेसी अखाड़ा का 24/7 कस्टमर सर्विस है, आपकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करवा देंगे।
कल जाने देंगे। फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स का असली अखाड़ा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम के तत्व हैं और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम।
महारथी जी, फैंटेसी अखाड़ा में विदेश जाने का भी चांस है।
अब सुनो,
हम आपको जाने देंगे।
इतना सिखा दीजिए कि हम फौरन कैसे जाएंगे।
फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स का
असली अखाड़ा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम के तत्व हैं और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
live here at IPRC cricket grounds, where we have the Germans ready to chase down 214 to win this game, and they haven't won any game so far. 5 games, 5 losses, and they are back here at IPRC cricket grounds. Yeah, the opening batters for Germans, it's as you can see, it is Janet Ronalds alongside the captain Christina Golf. Janet Ronalds to face the first ball of the innings. And the opening bowler for Team Uganda is the one and only Every Nanyipo. And Every Nanyipo, she's the second wicket taker in the tournament so far, with 10 wickets in hand. And she follows her team player Patricia Malemikia, who's the top wicket taker, the most wicket taker in the tournament. And Every Nanyipo opens her account with a dot ball. That's a second ball that is played nicely. That's some wrist work from Janet Ronalds. She glances it down fine leg, and it goes for a boundary. Oh, and that's a good line and length from Every Nanyipo. Janet Ronalds seems to not be able to play that ball, whether it's too fast or she's respecting the bowler. As you can see behind the stumps, we have our top scorer of the game today, Kevin Awino. She slices the ball down gully, but it's straight to a fielder, and the ball is collected back. It's back to the hands of the bowler. And she drives down the extra covers, but it's straight to a fielder. And that is Janet Mbabazi, who refuses to let the ball go. And it gets us to the end of the over with 4 runs on board. and no loss. Captain Konsi coming from the Niboe community end. She's coming to open the bowling from the other end. And on strike we have Captain Christina. And she's driven down long off, mid off. And there's no run made by the batters from the Germans. Again driven again between mid off and extra covers. And Christina gets off the mark. Janet Ronalds on strike. Oh, and she's gone. And she's gone. Janet Ronalds departs. And that is a good piece of bowling from the captain. Yeah. She's bowled. She tried to cross bat and she walks. And the new batter in is Sharanya Sadaranganyi. She's the one walking in to join the captain and chase the score. That's the first wicket for the Ugandans by the captain herself, Consulate Aweko. Good piece of bowling from the captain, Konsi. Sharanya not off the mark yet. She has faced 2 balls and 2 more balls to come from the Konsi, from the captain for the Uganda side. Oh, and she drives again. And that gets us to the end of the over. 5 runs on board. A loss of a wicket Janet Ronalds, the unluckiest batter for the Germans. She hasn't been lucky on the wicket with the bat. She keeps getting out unluckily, and yet she's one of the key batters for the Germans. Every Nanyipo coming to drop her second over of the innings, and we have Captain Christina on strike. And she drives it down the short mid wicket, and the ball, it's direct to a fielder, gets back on the wicket. And having Uganda having two batters, one is a lefty-handed, the other one is a right-handed, it keeps them changing the field. And we're still in the power play. Third over coming. Sharanya not off strike yet. She's not off strike yet, and she's here to face every Nanyipos. And she drives down the extra covers, but Janet Babas is there to stop the ball. Still, Sharanya not off strike yet. She plays it again, driven back to Janet Mabazi. And that is a Yoka to Sharanya, and she plays it safely. No run made, not off strike yet, and that brings us to the end of the third over with 6 runs on board and the loss of a wicket, the key wicket. Captain Konsi coming from the second wicket down. That's the captain who departs. Captain Christina Goff. The ball stayed low and it went straight to the... We need some replay there. The ball went and it took the middle stump, and all we could see was the bells flying. And that becomes to the end of the Captain Christina's innings. And the new batter is Stephanie from Maya, walking in to join Sharanya. And they chase score. They chase this down, which is not an easy score. 214 to win. And they need 208 in the next 101 balls from the Germans. Two new batters on the crease. Two new batters at the crease, trying to get off the mark. Stephanie from Maya. She drives it back to the bowler. This is Konsi being consistent with the ball with an economy of less than one. And that's another dot from Stephanie. That's a loud appeal, and the umpire looks less interested in the appeal. And the unplayable bowler, Consulate Aweko. Very good piece of bowling from her. And good figures too. With her good leg spin and off spin at the same time. She's very good and very economical with the ball. And quite an update on the at Gahanga cricket grounds, where Rwanda is chasing 92 runs. At the moment, they have 29 runs for one, and it's still within the power play. 6th over running. Every Nanyipo coming to deliver her third over. And we have Stephanie on strike. And that's a wide ball. She starts it off with a wide. And it's Sharanya on strike. Sharanya on strike. Every Nanyipo coming from the school end to deliver her third over. And she's driven down the extra covers, and it goes for the boundary. First boundary, and Sharanya gets off the mark with a good cover drive that goes for 4. Yeah, at the end of the fifth over, with 14 runs on board and the loss of 2 wickets, and every Nanyipo finishes that third over with an economy of 4.3. And new ball alert. Looks like Janet Babazi is coming from the Niboye community end to finish the power play. And we have Stephanie from Mayor on strike, and she's not off the mark yet. Janet Babazi coming from the Niboye community end. And at the end of the power play, we have 15 runs on board and a loss of 2 wickets. The captain, Christina Goff, and Janet Reynolds. And we have a new bowler alert for Team Uganda. And it is Sarah Akiteng coming from the school end, and it's Sharanya on strike. Stephanie trying to get a single so that Sharanya can change the strike. But it looks like there's no run to be made really. And Sharanya doesn't want to take risky singles. And here she drives it to the extra covers, but Janet Mbabas is there with some kind of glue in her hands, and she's not allowing any ball to go past. And that is in the air, and Janet Mbabazi catches Sharanya, and Sharanya departs after contributing 6 runs in 17 balls, and it brings her to the end of her innings today, getting dismissed by Janet Mbabazi. And the new batter in replacing Sharanya is Paris Wadenpo. Paris joining Stephanie Frontmeyer to chase down the score, where they are required a minimum of 15 runs and over, and they are going at the rate of 2.2 and over. For those who have just joined us, we are coming live from IPRC Cricket Grounds, Kigali, Rwanda, and we have Uganda versus Germany, where the Germans are chasing down 214 runs to secure their first win in the tournament. And the Ugandans, who have only lost 2 games out of 5, they are trying to secure a 4th win. And that was the end of the over. Janet Mbabazi coming to bowl from the Niwoye community end to bowl her 2nd over of the innings. And we have Paris on strike. Two new batters at the crease. Both of them not off the mark yet. And that's Sam Lawil, and the umpire looks less interested. And Janet Mbabazi keeps coming from the Niwoye community end on board. At the loss of
कितने पैसे चाहिए?
पैसा नहीं, इज्जत। मोहल्ले के चिरकुट लौंडे हरा रहे हैं फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स में। आप एक्सपर्ट हो, सिखाओ।
सिखाऊंगा तो जाने दोगे?
फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स का असली अखाड़ा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम के तत्व हैं और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
And she comes from Niboye community end to bowl her third over. She's also going very well with an economy of 1.5 after her second over. And she comes to ball number 3. And Stephanie gets off the mark with a single. And it's Asmita Kohli, the left-hander, facing. She's the one on strike. And Asmita Kohli doesn't wait any longer. She gets off the mark with a boundary. She plays it down fine leg. And it goes for 4. Yeah, that's some good piece of batting from Asmita Kohli. Asmita Kohli slices it down the gully. And they manage to get a single quickly as they rotate the strike. And that brings us to the end of the over. Halfway the innings. Close to halfway the innings. One more ball to come from Janet Mawazi. And it is Stephanie from Maya who's on strike. And the score on board is just 23 for the loss of 4 wickets. And that's a miss. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss by Stephanie, and brings us to the end of the 10th over. Halfway in the innings. And an update on the other ground, Gahanga Cricket Stadium, where we're having Rwanda and Botswana. Rwanda is chasing 92 runs. And Rwanda, she's on 58 for 2. And they're halfway the innings. Asmita Kohli on strike. And the bowler to come is the consistent bowler with 2 maidens and a wicket in her first 2 overs. And she comes from the campus end, the school end, to give her 3rd over following her 2 maidens. Stephanie Frontmeyer on strike, and it's Sarah Akitenge comes again. Oh, another wicket down. Another batter falls. The Germans are not having a good start here. They're not doing well with the bat. And Stephanie Frontmeyer walks. She departs. She tried to play some back foot drive, but she mistimes the ball, and that is how she went down. She goes down like that. And the new batter is the wicketkeeper herself, Kartika Vijay. Kartika Vijay walks in to join Asmita Kohli. Kartika trying to get off the mark, and the bowler isn't being easy on her. She's playing basic cricket, driving with a straight bat, but she has conceded so far 3 dots. No run made. Oh. And at the end of the 11th over, we have 25 runs on board and the loss of 5 wickets. And the Germans are required 21 runs and over. And with this tight bowling of the Ugandans, it is next to impossible for the Germans to chase the score. And Gloria Abuko, one of the opening batter who contributed her good score, she comes to bowl from the Niboye community end, and she opens her books with a dot ball. Asmita Kohli makes her wrist work, and she glances the ball down short mid-wicket, and she gets herself an extra run, and she gives strike to Kartika, the wicket keeper. And Kartika not off the strike rate after facing 3 balls from Sarah Akiteng. It seems the spin is working for the Ugandans, much more than the pace. And they managed to steal a single there. She played it. She gets off the mark by fire by force. She gets off the mark where she drives it straight to a fielder. And she still goes for a single. And it was successful as they secured it comfortably. Another single for the Germans, where they managed to run twice to make two. They just made their twos. She played it down the third man. Straight bat from Asmita Kohli. She's seeing the ball. And that gets us to the end of the 12th over. 8 more overs to come.
ये फटका।
अब सीख तो गए, अब तो जाने दो मुझे।
ठहर जाइए, कोई प्रॉब्लम हो गई तो कहाँ ढूंढेंगे आपको?
फैंटेसी अखाड़ा का 24/7 कस्टमर सर्विस है, आपकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करवा देंगे।
कल जाने देंगे।
फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स का असली अखाड़ा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम के तत्व हैं और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Another wicket down for Team Uganda. As Asmita Kohli tries to drive it, and she passed the ball straight to. She drives the ball straight to mid-off, and that's the captain, Konsi herself, Konsi Aweko, and she makes no mistake, and she grabs it by both hands, and Asmita Kohli walks like that. And Shravya is the new batter to join, and that is a fourth wicket for Sarah Akiteng with two maidens as he finishes her spell with an economy of 0.7, 4 wickets and 2 maidens. Very good figures for a bowler. And that brings us to the end of the 13th over with 30 runs for 6. 7 more overs to play for the Germans. Let's see how far they can go, as the required run rate is next to impossible. 26 runs an over. And if you look at how they are batting, they are going at a rate of 2.3. And that is less than 10% they required. And it is Gloria Buko coming to deliver her second over of the innings, as she managed to restrict the Germans to get more than 4 runs in her previous over. And that's an appeal for an LBW, but the umpire looks less interested, and it's Shravia on strike. It's Shravia on strike. Shravia on strike. Gloria with the ball. And she drives it down mid-on, but the bowler chases the ball. She has it in her hands, and the batters make no mistake by risking the run, which wasn't there. And Gloria Buko coming again. And that's an inside edge. And they run. They make a single. That's a quick single, making it 2. Second single. That's some quick running from the Germans. They took advantage of the miskeeping. And that's in the air. It lands safe at mid-on. Landed at short mid-on. And that is Shravia and Gloria Buko coming. Gloria Buko to ball. Oh, and that's a swing and a miss from Shravia. She mistimes the ball and she misses it. And we are at the end of the 14th over. 6 more overs for the Germans. Let's see how far they can go. And the required run rate is only going higher every other over. It is now at 30 runs, and the current run rate is 2.4, which is very on the low side. And it's a tall order for the Germans to be asked for this. Captain Konsi coming from the school end. Oh, bowlers on top. We have Stravia on strike. Stravia on strike, who seems to not get the right line of the ball, hence missing. Again, the ball stayed low, and they couldn't maximize and get anything out of it. And that's in there. Back to the bowler herself, and she catches it. She makes no mistake, and that's her third wicket. Seems she's getting a wicket every over she bowls. She gets a wicket in every over. There's some good delivery. The ball bounced abruptly, and the captain catches it with both hands, safe hands, and that gets them to a 7th wicket down. A 7th wicket down for the Germans. And it's Milena walking in to join hands with Kaltika Vijay as they try to chase down the score. And the required rate is only going higher and higher. It is now at 33 runs, 0.5. Milena on strike. And Chio! That's a drop. She edges it down the second slip. And Janet Mbabazi doesn't reach the ball. That was going to be a golden duck. And Kaltika drives it back to the bowler. And that brings us to the end of the 15th over with 36 runs on board. Gloria Abuko coming to bowl her third over, the 16th over. And an update at Gahanga Cricket Stadium. Rwanda is chasing 92, and they have 86 runs for the loss of 3 wickets. They need 6 runs to win in the next 26 balls. And she drives it. That is Milena. She drives it back to the bowler, Gloria Abuko. And 2 more deliveries from Gloria. And we get to the end of the 16th over. And that's in the air, down short mid wicket. And they run. The chase is on. And the bowler gets back on the wicket right in time. and the Germans could only get one single off that delivery. And we get to the end of the over.
मारुति जी, फैंटेसी अखाड़ा में विदेश जाने का भी चांस है।
अब सुनो,
हम आपको जाने देंगे। इतना सिखा दीजिए कि हम फॉरेन कैसे जाएंगे।
फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स का असली अखाड़ा।
इस गेम में वित्तीय जोखिम के तत्व हैं और इसकी लत लग सकती है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Gets a wicket on the first ball of the fourth over, where every Nanyipo makes no mistake at the extra covers, and she catches the ball just to send out Milena, and Milena departs. And Susan McNanamag walks in to join Kartika to chase the score. And the required rate has done its best. Now they are required 44 runs. Susan on strike, the left-handed batter, and Janet still has 5 balls to bowl. That's some loud appeal from the Ugandans, and the umpire looks less interested. Oh, another wicket down. Second wicket in the over. And she got bowled. Susan gets bowled by Janet Babazi. Her second wicket in the over. And Antonia Meyenbog joins in to join Kartika. And this is the last wicket for the Germans. Oh, she's fishing. Antonia is fishing. She can't connect the ball. She's trying to hit it, but in vain. And it's Janet Babazi finishing her spell. Oh, and she misses another one. And Janet Babazi finishes her spell with 2 wickets and an economy of 2.5. And that's another one in the air from Kaltika, the wicket keeper, and it goes for a boundary. A long awaited boundary for the Germans. And that gets the Germans to 42 runs on board. 3 more overs to bowl. 3 more overs. 16 balls to come. And it's Gloria Abuko who's trying to finish her spell. Antonia Meyenborg on strike. She's not off the mark yet. And Gloria seems to not wanting her to. And she gets off the mark with a single. And that gets us to the end of the 18th over. 12 more balls from the Ugandans as the Germans try to at least play all the overs. As the required run rate is 85 runs. Poor Germans, 44 runs on last wicket, and 2 more overs to bowl, 2 more overs to face, and it's Antonia Meyenborg on strike, and it is Captain Konsi coming from the campus end. Captain Konsi coming to finish her spell. And that's a wide ball. Wide ball. Wondering if the Germans can at least finish the overs. They play all the 20 overs. instead of being all out. And Antonia gets a single. And that's the last wicket down. Antonia ran out. She's ran out. Antonia Meyenborg, the last wicket to fall for the Germans. This is a sixth. It was their second last game in the tournament, as they have Kenya tomorrow. That's for the Germans. 6 games down the road, 6 losses in a row. They haven't managed to secure a win. And this is, you can see the smile on the Ugandans' faces. Their 4th win today. They have so far lost only 2 games out of the 6. And Germany wins by 167 runs. A very huge margin. And at cricket, at Gahanga Cricket Stadium, Rwanda secures another win by 6 wickets, further to chasing down 92 runs in 17 overs with wicket in hands. 6 of them. Thank you. See you later on in the afternoon, where we are going to have Brazil encountering Kenya.